Attorney General Rutledge, on the subject of ethics, if elected a Lieutenant Governor, you would get to appoint a member of the Ethics Commission. What are the qualities you look for in that appointment? And is there an area where you believe in Arkansas we could use a little bit of ethical improvements?
Well, thank you. With regard to the Ethics Commission, I've also, as the Attorney General, made appointments to the Ethics Commission. And I think it's important for me, I looked for someone that was going to be fair and reasonable, that had the right experience, that came about it with a very judicious temperament. It's important when you're looking at violations of the law, essentially, and serving on the Ethics Commission, that you have someone who looks at the facts and just takes those facts into consideration, that doesn't bring their own political ideology or any bias to the table, but rather comes to the table with an open mind and being able to discern facts from fiction. It's important that we have ethical people serving in state government, and whether that's an appointee of the Lieutenant Governor or Attorney General, or serving in the State House or State Senate, or in any office. That's why we started the Public Integrity Division at the Attorney General's office, where we investigate and prosecute state actors, state officials who violate the law. Every step of the way over the last 8 years, we have held public officials to that standard, and I will continue to do so as Lieutenant Governor.
1 minute now for Mr. Gilbert.
I guarantee you, as a Lieutenant Governor, you would get a very different kind of ethics member if it was up to me. There are political appointments, and this is not an area where a political appointment should be made. We need people who are not part of the party system, that are not involved in politics at any level. And I know good people who dislike politics to a degree that borders on illness. They might not be a good choice, but we have to have someone who doesn't have any strings or ties to any of the conventional party politics that we're used to. There is another area of ethics, and that is one that I would love to explore as a Lieutenant Governor or any other way, and that is legal ethics. There are things that are legal in the state of Arkansas, but that are not ethical.
Thank you, sir. To Ms. Kraut now, 1 minute.
Yes, ethics obviously incredibly important in our state government. We need people who are willing to be transparent, who are willing to be honest at all times, making sure that they're using the office for what is intended for and not trying to promote another office or campaign or anything like that. But I'd like to take the rest of my time to focus on something else Ms. Rutledge said about defund the police. She's actually the only person that I've heard mentioning that over and over again in this campaign. I actually spent the last year working for a local police department in a social work capacity and was able to ride out with officers and respond to mental health crises and help de-escalate those situations and divert them into mental health care as opposed to the criminal justice system. Law enforcement was wildly supportive of this, and it's a really neat program that I would like to see spread across the state. I think that's something that we could invest in. That'll make our community safer. It will allow people to get the help that they need, and it allows law enforcement to do the job that they've been trained to do and do it well, and allows mental health professionals to be able to help in the capacity that they can. There's a lot of ways that we can creatively partner to make Arkansas better for everybody.
Ms. Kraut, thank you. We go back now to Ms. Rutledge for 30 seconds.
Well, thank you. When it comes to appointments to the Ethics Commission, as I mentioned, I've already made a couple of those appointments. The first appointment I made was an African-American female attorney, and the second appointment I made was a Hispanic businessman. I think it's important that these appointments we make, whether it's as Attorney General, Lieutenant Governor, or Governor, reflect the state of Arkansas and reflect different views and values, and making certain that those individuals come to the table, again, with honesty, integrity, and to ensure that justice is done.
Rebuttal, Mr. Gilbert.
I mentioned ethical and legal, and I'd like to follow up that with just a little bit more. In my early career in politics, I was approached with a deal that a friend of mine wanted me to get involved in, and I ran from it because it offended me that they thought that I would be susceptible to that sort of thing. It was legal, but it was not ethical, and I think it's time that we look at politicians in that light and talk about that.
Ms. Kraut.
We're still on this one.
You're right, you've got 30 seconds.
Yes, I don't have much else to add to this except that, yes, of course our leaders need to be ethical. Of course our leaders need to be transparent and honest with the Arkansas people. And really the bar is on the floor, right? Like that is the bare minimum, is that we be ethical. Yes, we've seen issues in the Senate. We've seen people trying to pull one over on Arkansas voters and then not only not accept accountability for that, but then try to say, well, maybe I did that, but she did that too. And this is just not the maturity that we need in leadership in Arkansas. So we can certainly do better.